Have any of you ever made a bad first impression?
I think all of mine are bad. Come on, I'm so awkward at socialising. Like, I really am the most gangly, goofy. Like, I try really hard because I know it should be good for me to be like make good impressions. But I'm just rubbish at it. If I don't know somebody, I've got nothing good to say. I remember being at Jonathan Ross's Halloween party. Only got invited once.
Jealous, I've always wanted to go to
Never
that
got
party.
invited back. And it was
That's the party of the year.
It was really cool, but imagine going and being me, and then it's like Gwyneth Paltrow and like all these people. I felt so out of place, and then I thought, no, come on, Stacey, you can do it. They're normal people just like you. And I remember seeing somebody really well known who I actually have met in real life, who I know and thought I got on with. And I was like, hi, trying to make small talk, trying to get in there, and like this person kind of was like, yeah, okay, what's wrong with you? Because I was like, and just like really excitable that I'd met someone, that found someone I knew. Yeah. And then I said, oh, should we have a little picture in there? I'm such a loser. I was like, should we have a picture in the photo booth? She was like, yeah, okay.
I always struggle with leaving an impression. I always feel like you've got to leave the chat on a high, like with a joke or something.
Yeah.
That always ends badly. When there's a pressure on you to make a joke, it's always inappropriate or a little bit cringe. So, yeah, I always find I've got a lot of pressure on trying to...
What about if you feel that somebody's had enough of you and they want you to
Well, that's another thing. You know, when you have a little chat with someone and they start looking over your shoulder and you think, they're ready to wrap this up, aren't they? And you try and wrap it up as quick and as polite as possible, but...
Are you a good rapper-upper?
No.
Oh, my God, no. He talks to people in the streets.
Yeah, I probably do, but my problem is that I don't know. I'm really bad with like faces, so I don't know if people know me or recognise me. So if someone says like "Hello, Joe," I'm like, "Hello." So how was you last week? How's the family?
People off the streets here, they're like, "All right, Joe, like well done," and he's like, "Oh, how are you?"
Are you sort of running behind him, telling him who he knows and who he doesn't know?
Who is that? He's like, "Oh, it could be anyone."
I'm so rubbish. I've completely... I mean, I love my husband in many ways, but he's really gregarious. He goes into parties. He's the life and soul, and it's fantastic for me because it means I can just stand there and just... I hate it. I'm so rubbish at small talk.
Do you think that's one of the reasons you actually have got together and stayed together?
Probably. I mean, there's probably other reasons.
So you
Listen, Jane. Very true. No,
but it's quite nice going into a social situation.
And here you come out.
I thought that when I got with Stacey, but it's made it a little bit more awkward.
So this is the classic example of why I don't like small talk. So Matt Damon, you know, the actor, love Matt Damon. He was on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and he was saying about... He went to a party and he was making small talk with Prince. Years ago, obviously, and he went, "So, you still live in Minnesota, don't you?" And he said, Prince looked at him dead in the eye and replied, "I live inside my own heart, Matt Damon."
Oh, you see?
Where'd you go from there?
Where would Joe would be like, "All right, mate, see you later."
Sounds like a lovely place.